you.
Mm.
I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to what? I'm going to
Yeah.
what? What else? If you can take care of me.
Basically, I guess if you want to call it a high price hoe, I mean, you could put it in that context. It's basically if you take care of me, I'm taking care of you. I provided myself for monetary gain.
Listen, I've done it. Here's the piece that I want you to get. Your daddy taught you it was okay.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome the audience as everyone is tuning in from our respective platforms and channels. I am the host, Jeff St. James of the Men's Table. We have Mr. Dave Anderson, the business bully himself, pulling up after multiple debates. I don't even know how he has the stamina right now, and he was cooking. We have our guy, Mr. Fantastic, pulling up again. What's going on, bro? And then, of course, Mr. McPherson himself, Bruiser in the building. So, fellas, the legend herself, the mother of Black Hollywood, has spoken, and she has stated very clearly that what she say? I think she said 63 men that she slept with, amidst other things that she mentioned. And I think there's been an ongoing debate and discussion for years, especially since social media, about whether or not body count matters for men, for women, for both parties. And it was very interesting to hear a lot of the stuff that she said throughout that interview. So before I give my opinion, man, I want to hear from you guys. Oh, but real quick, everybody that's watching, and if you haven't done so, somebody can put their thing on mute. I'm not sure who it is. If everybody that's watching, all that we ask is that, hey, make sure you guys share this with at least 1, 2, or even 3 people. Make sure that y'all like this and feel free to comment and let us know that you're here, where you're watching from, or most importantly, if you want to do something even a little more special, feel free to hit the super chat button to let us know if you have a question and or comment. And Rob Esquire, thank you for the 440 jewels with the Unk alert. Thank you, good brother, to start us off. All right, gentlemen. So what y'all think?
I'm reminded of that poet laureate Christopher Bridges, who says you doing hoe activities with hoe tendencies, hoes are your friends, hoes are your enemies. Especially in this society where everything is entertainment, a lot of these chicks think that they're famous and they want to you know get clapped up to get topped off. Then they want to top off to get bagged up. And then they want to get bagged in order to get a bag. So again, that's how that goes. This is nothing new. This is the world's oldest profession. I remember I got in trouble when I lived in Nashville, Tennessee, for stating that, in some way, shape, or form, whether we choose to acknowledge it or not, all women have a certain financial exchange. And I didn't put it that way. I put it by, saying that women who participate in that type of behavior, all women to a certain extent are transactional in that way, and they become garden tools to the highest bidder.
Damn, Dave, you said this where, Dave?
Oh, WNPL Blazing 106.7 Nashville, Tennessee, where I was number one in Music City. Yes, I did. I said what I said. And people got all upset, and it was like that morning, all night long. And that morning, the secretary was 9 o'clock in the morning. I get called into the radio station, and the secretary told my boss, and my boss was like, "Oh, I gotta fire you." I said, "What you gotta fire me for?" And he said, "Because you call these women garden tools." And I said, "Yeah, no, I did that. So that's why you're gonna fire me." And the Quiet Storm guy from the sister station come through, and he says, how many calls did he get? Said 1,500, and it's only 9:30. Ain't nobody in a year 1,500 calls. He said that kid's about to go number one. It was factual. It was factual. What is you going to do? Can we stop acting like we don't know what this is? I mean, you can go all the way back to what's her face? Millie Jackson. You can go all the way back to Ain't Nothing Going On But the Rent. You can go back to when my daughter was born and No Scrubs was the number one record on. Listen, we all know it's transactional. We just act like it's different when there's not a pimp involved. I'm waiting for y'all to tell me I lied, though.
I'm in the listening mode right now. What's going on, AJ? Welcome. Bruiser and Mr. Fantastic, man. What y'all think about both what she said and just the general attitude of many women, but also some men? I've seen some men on panels saying it doesn't matter. What's your thoughts?
I think in her case it don't matter because she's not. Hold on, real quick.
Oh.
Yeah, daddy duties, family duties taking on. Let me hop in here. Sorry, everybody. Yeah. So it's truth on both sides. It matters when it comes to you picking a woman that you want to, take serious, you want to marry, you want to call your own. All right. But it don't matter when you're trying to, have some fun, and like they say, move around and see what's shaking and popping and all these other things, right? So I mean, every man wants let's say a friendly woman, right? When it comes to bedroom activities, you prefer that. All right, we're all in pursuit of that's the whole dating and relationship goal for every man is sex at the end of the day. So but 63 men from her though, for her age group, for her is crazy. And the crazy thing about it is I think this is the only truthful time or the closest to the truth that we will ever get of a woman actually giving her body count. I think this is the close we will ever have to the actual number. Now, I know a lot of women, I heard Jeff, they got different rules. If they didn't climax, it didn't count. If it was too small, pause, it didn't count. So give or take versus the, multiply by 3. I say we can multiply hers by 0.5, right? Wow. So we might be off by half, but I think this is the closest we will ever actually come to an actual woman's body count, given her age and the, the generation she's from and all these different things. But yeah, of course, it always counts, man, because, a man don't want the hoe. But at the end of the day, it don't count because you'll never know. Bars.
Go ahead, Darwin.
Yeah, so yeah. It don't matter for her because she's not positioning herself in the market to be available for commitment. So she can rack up with as many bodies as she wants. But, the market is going to it's going to look at her as a hoe, 3 or 4. And I got a lot of pushback a few weeks ago when I was on the peak because everybody said I dismissed her trauma. They were making an argument that because she had a traumatic experience, that I'm supposed to absolve her from being called a hoe.
I remember Sharon Bracey was debating you about that.
And then when I added some logic, I said, okay, if not Jeffrey Dahmer, I'm sorry. I said, if a serial killer had a traumatic experience as a young boy, and then he went on to unalive 63 people, if I called him a murderer, am I dismissing his trauma? And they had no answer for it. But this is what she is. And it's sad that, just doing a little research, the only reason why she slowed down or even stopped is because I think it was AIDS. She saw a lot of her friends and coworkers passing away left and right. So she reevaluated her lifestyle. So it took an epidemic for her to stop busting it open. Imagine how many women out here that have yet to see the epidemic to stop them from busting that thing open. They wide open. And ain't no epidemic coming no time soon. I thought something was coming off of a cruise ship. I forgot what it was called recently, but it didn't even make it. It didn't really hit for real. I forgot what the name of it was.
Yeah, it was in the news for like 3 days, and then it kind of went away.
I thought that was going to cause the women to tighten up, but nah. These women is out here, and like Mr. Fantastic said, this is probably the closest you're going to get to a woman being completely honest. But the thing about it is, sadly, I mean, men are still wifing these type of women up. But I mean, we don't really have the transparency on how many partners or how many interactions she had with men sexually. And that may be the determining factor on why men are continuing to pursue these women for commitment. But it is what it is. It's just whenever you hear an older woman say this and glorify it on a panel in front of a large audience, you would think that the older women before you would be trying to educate the younger women. Hey, look, you don't want this. You don't want to do it. And I get it. She probably made some comment like that to Kiki, but it seemed like it wasn't really, I wasn't sold on it. I was more sold on it. She had fun, and if she was to do it again, she would do it again because she said that was fabulous. So that's just my take on it when I heard it. And when I heard it with Iyanla
Van Zandt,
I don't really agree with her. I think a woman's body and vagina is very precious. It is a vessel that brings in life. I think it needs to have a cost to have access to it. And whether that's monetary, that's whether marriage, whatever it is, I think the women need to put a filter in front of it and get whatever they need if they're going to give men access. That's how I see a lot of pookies being able to qualify for a lot of these women in the community is destroyed because it's free. It's just too free. I think there need to be some type of requirement for it. Whatever that is, maybe a woman need to get what she need out of it. If she going to give it out, I don't think she should be giving it away for free. But if she's trying to paint the narrative that a woman do charge for it, or she do require anything for it, transactional, she's a hoe, and I can live with that. I would say that most women are hoes then, if that's the case.
Let's try to use 304s if we can.
What's worse than a woman A charging for it, or a woman B just giving that thing out for free? And I'll land.
Yeah, just real quick. The problem is that the women will charge the men they don't like and still give it away free to the men that they like. So I don't think that eliminates the Pookie problem that you're talking about. The price for entry is much lower or absolutely free for the ones with whom they want to be. You feel me? So I think, and that's been going on since perpetuity also. Women have always made it easier for the men they're actually attracted to have sexual access versus those that, they don't really want to, but the benefits outweigh the desire for the most part.
I get what you're saying. And I fundamentally disagree that a woman should change or acquiesce to the man that she like. I think the cost should be across the board, whether it's a guy she like, a Pookie, whoever it is, high value man, whatever archetype that she run into, the cost there should always be a cost to protect that thing. Because I think if you start protect whatever comes in it, a man can just brush it off and just keep going. But what comes out can clearly just destroy entire community or infrastructure. So I think it need to be a cost, and I don't think the woman should waver on her cost or the requirement to get access just because she like them.
Yeah, I think that's one thing.
Hold on real quick, AJ. I know because Darwin, you said something that was very interesting. You're arguing that when you're judging women for how they use it, if the choices are between them giving it with they're giving it away for free versus putting some type of cost on it, the woman that's giving it away for free, most people, men and women, would look down on her. So it almost makes it seem like women have to attach some type of value to it in order for men to have any type of access.
You would be surprised. But I've just recently been around on TikTok on the panels, and they actually praise and they champion women for giving it away for free, and they actually frown down on the women that's putting a charge on it. And that might have something to do with the men being with the inability of having the charisma and the capability of being able to persuade a woman to be able to find them sexually desirable. So it's easy to sell that narrative in a woman. So it's ingrained in her mindset to be able to give it up away for free. You don't have to put any effort in to get it. But I think if the market is going to be competitive, then there needs to be a cost for the things that we value.
Wow. Prince Revolver, thank you for the $5. The number they give us is usually lower than the actual number. BAGB gang in the building. Who else we got? Thank you for that. Strong Success, thank you for the $4.99. Salute, fellas. Why don't these females understand high body count equals low value? Old lady said 63 bodies, and Kiki really said, give me some of that. Shake my head. We're going to respond to this about the whole concept of women being valued less than whether or not the doctor that I played earlier. We're going to listen to what he had to say again. And I want to see from you guys if you think that he's actually right or wrong when it comes to him saying that it's not actually the women having a high body count that's the issue. It's how they're treated by men that impacts their relationships, supposedly. So we'll jump back with that. Who else we got? CT the God. I think for the $5, Dave Anderson be on a ass like black back pocket. Salute to the panel. Man, this man has been doing quite a few debates recently. I'm still trying to keep up with him. I saw the one from the day with the doctor, and my man was struggling. He was struggling.
Point of order, gentlemen. It's not a debate. If you start turning into Carl Thomas and or Ralph Tresvant after an orgasm, you're emotional and sensitive. This is like work.
It was bad.
This is like work. My whole thing is you're not going. See, the problem with these people is they're just like these females. They're nothing but Cheyenne Bryants. Just because you have a degree that I don't have, mine are in the drawers. Y'all want them? Just because you got a degree, you hear me tell a few jokes or sing a song in between me giving you that work, doesn't mean that I do not have a superior intellect. So you catching this work you asked for. When you emailing me 4 or 5 times begging for this work, I'm gonna give you that work. Sorry. Boots the asses. What up, Mr. Fantastic? Hey, what's up, AJ? What's going on, man? I miss a week. I miss a lot.
Yeah, you earned that belt, man. I watched part of that debate. Man, you got the belt because man, you put belt to ass. That's for sure earlier. So I'll go back and watch the whole thing. But man, he was not ready for that work, man.
Yeah, he thought. I mean, you should hear him. Well, I have to be the purveyor because I have a PhD in my doctor. Do you guys know? I just finished writing my 15th research paper. It's called the Tether Doctrine. I'm not being funny. I'm y'all keep acting like I'm
the Tether Doctrine.
No. It's an acronym. Trying everything to hijack everyone's reparations. Trying everything to hijack everyone's reparations. I literally wrote a research paper. Y'all act like I'm not a college professor. You act like I'm not him. No. Every time I say something, I'm not being messy. The messy people are those who think that they're going to come to a battle of wits unarmed.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. But the Tether Doctrine will be out. I'm going to put it up for peer review very shortly. They don't call me professor because I used to look like Sherman Klump. So thank you very much. I'm better.
Prince Revolver, thank you for the $10. If we're being honest, most men don't care. Men typically lax up on their rules in dating because men understand fairness, possess a scarcity mindset. The most loser women still win in the human race. Wow. What do y'all think about that? With what he's saying?
Okay, let me ask you something, Jeff, real quick. And I'm just making up for lost time. I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to sit my black ass down, maybe eat a French fry. Have you ever gone out to a club when you were younger, and you didn't pull something?
I did not pull something.
Yeah, did not pull something. Did you pull something every time you left? Every time you left? Yeah. No. Okay, cool. That's because you're a man. Okay, a man could go into the club and say, you know, I'm gonna tag something tonight, and go home empty-handed. If a woman decides to go outside and pick up the newspaper that the little paper boy threw out and say, I'm going to get something, she going to get it. Even the ugly ones, even the slack-jawed North American big back ones. Hell, there's a story where John Cena told Howard Stern that because the boys in the locker room wanted him to do so, that he smashed a woman who was at least 300 pounds. Now that woman thinks that her standard is the never seen 17 first ballot Hall of Famer that is John Cena. That's the difference between being a man and a woman. So yeah, women only go home alone by choice.
AJ and Mr. Fantastic, what do y'all think about this comment?
Yeah, he's saying what I told you. At the end of the day, man, I done heard a lot of brothers, man. There's a lot of archetypes of brothers that ask no brothers. My coochie ain't got no face brothers. It's all the same in the dark brothers. Listen, man. Listen, we all got something in our closet, okay, that we would never be seen in public with. You feel me? Taking one from my brother Dave Anderson's book, a poet by the name of Gunna said she want to go viral. Okay, she wet in the shower. That pussy got power. That pussy got power. So yeah, again, man, I it's undefeated, man. Vagina's undefeated, dog. I know that you know, throughout the annals of time. All right. So again, women cannot lose. Women are always gonna win. I'll say this and then I'll throw it to AJ. There was this man called Genghis Khan, right? And Genghis Khan still to this day has one of the deepest bloodlines and lineages in human history. And Genghis Khan was famous for sleeping with almost every single woman of the, you know, people that he conquered. And you know, he had this policy. It was like either, hey, off with your head or give me some head. You chop off one head, you know.
Yeah. I think that in Asia, China in particular, but you know, Mongolia, because he's from Mongolia.
Yeah, he's Mongolian.
I think in that area of the world, I think like upwards of 20%.
Yeah,
I think
that's what I
of
heard.
the Chinese, basically
20%.
the Chinese population. So basically 1 in 5 Chinese people today are, you know, descendant from Genghis Khan. So yeah.
So it's not
He's a
racist when you
kin of
say they all
ancient
look the
Mongolia.
same. It's not racist when you say they all look the
They
same.
used to
It's
call
kind
him
of
Slangus Khan.
culturally accurate. You know what I'm saying? Culturally accurate in science.
AJ, what you think, man?
The thing about body count, and there's a couple dudes that I know who sweat body count a lot, and anyone who's mature knows that you can never truly know what her body count and is. You can know if it's a lot because some of the girls tell on themselves. I think there's a couple guys on this panel who always say if you listen long enough, they tell on themselves, right? But if you're worried, you're never going to truly know. But the issue is, because I'm 45 and we all, you know, us guys that are like 35, 40, 45 and up, we all knew 304s in college who were going through the basketball team, going through the wrestling team, but they kept quiet about it. And then they would graduate from college and move to another city, reinvent themselves, right? And then they marry Poindexter, you know, the engineer or whatever. And then she comes back to the hometown with homeboy on her arm, and all the dudes are staring at him because we done smashed her. But they were smart about it. That was the cheat code. They kept it quiet. You know what I'm saying? You see these girls, was it freshman year, sophomore year, they're slanging it. And then junior year, senior year, they're by the medical school, they're by the law school, batting their eyelashes. Then they end up getting married. But now they put that out on the internet and the music, all this other stuff, and they're just out and out just doing it. And you know that it's not just men who have an issue with it. Women do too. Because what's the first thing that a woman calls another woman to disrespect her?
Ho.
Thank you very much.
304.
304. Yep. And that's how you know. I say that 304s are dumb, but they're not stupid. They say dumb things, but they're not stupid enough to believe it. You know what I'm saying? They might front, but they know how it really goes. So,
well, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm going to play this clip relating exactly what you said. And thank you, Prince Revolver, for that. And everybody that's currently watching, everybody that watches this right now, if y'all send it to 2 people, we're going to clear 500 people concurrently watching. And so if every person takes the opportunity just to comment, like, and send it to at least 2 people, we're going to clear 500 people watching all at the same time. One sec.
Body count doesn't matter until they're judging another woman's body count, which were the findings from this study where women judged potential female friends based entirely on their body count. The same exact woman was described with 2 past sexual partners in one version, but 20 in the other version. The only difference was her body count, but the woman with 20 partners was judged as less trustworthy, less warm, less emotionally stable, less competent, and less desirable as a friend. The most shocking part is that even women who were more open-minded about casual sex or had more sexual experiences themselves still judge the woman with 20 past sexual partners more negatively.
So I think a lot of times in these discussions, one of the first things that tends to be stereotyped is that men are the only ones that have opinions in this type of conversation, to where if there is to be a problem with it, only men have a problem with it. That was a study, and it's not the first one that's shown and revealed that women can and will weaponize a woman's past against her. And like AJ said, they absolutely will throw out the 304 word and call her a tramp and a this and that and all kind of names, specifically as it relates to because of her sexual past. So knowing what they'll say when they get angry, and knowing that they will, when they think, I guess, that they weren't going to be judged by the public eye, that they will judge when they're being studied, women on this very issue. I think the first thing that we have to come to grips with is maybe this is not necessarily strictly some men are judging a women, all women thing. I think that women can be equally as cruel and judgmental and just as quote unquote sexist about this issue. Amia, what you think?
Yeah, not only is that true, hold on a second. I have it here. Oh, yeah, here we go. This book right here, The Evolution of Desire, Strategies of Human Mating, David Buss talks about this in the book. It's called Derogation of Competitors, or what we would call in the hood, dirty macking. It's a form of, in the case of women, because men do it too.
Intersexual competition.
But yeah, exactly. Intersexual competition. And women know exactly what men find desirable and what men find undesirable about a woman. So one way to harm the public standing of a woman from another woman is to talk about her appearance, or she's fat, or she's ugly, or what have you. Or another way to do it is to, cast aspersions about her chastity. She's promiscuous. She can't be trusted. She's a hoe, etc., etc., etc. So it's interesting. Did y'all guys see the Mark Manson debate with the manosphere? I debated 20 guys in this Jubilee stuff. So I was watching Michael Sartain, give his blow by blow, color analysis and reaction to it. And it was interesting when he got to the part about the body count. What's fascinating is people like Manson, who was a pickup artist many moons ago, by the way. And I guess he's recanted from that. But what's interesting is they try to downplay body count, but as that video and studies have shown, one of the very first things a woman goes to in attempting to put down another woman is her body count.
Yep.
So they are admitting that body count does matter. It's pretty straightforward. By the way, get this book, fellas, The Evolution of Desire, Strategies of Human Mating. Michael Sartain has interviewed David Buss. So have I over on my Rumble. Check him out. Really good book.
Hey, shout out to Dr. David Buss for sure for all the work that he's done to kind of make it known that a lot of times these arguments aren't just coming from opinion, but oftentimes there's an informed component to it. And man, that was such a good point. And it's totally true. And one philosophical way to question it, when women say, well, it doesn't matter, it's not a big deal. Why would women tell men that? Why would they, if they're jealous of a girl or don't want her to end up with another guy, why would women tell him she slept with so-and-so? For any reason, because you assume that it's going to be for a positive reason, because it's going to help her chances with him. You're literally doing that because you know that it's going to sabotage her chances. Yeah. So women are doing that in a very, very intentional way. And
Jeff, they do it all the time. How many times do you see, there's the hot one who hangs out the big one, right? Her best friend is a bridge troll. You know what I'm saying? She does that because it makes her look better. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Women will, they give, okay, we live in the very first time where 45-year-old chicks are trying to compete for the same men as 25-year-old chicks. So you see, in this space, us older guys, we want the younger guys to win. We aren't trying to compete with them. You know what I'm saying? If I'm 45, I want a guy who's 20, who hears my message and Jeff's whatever, to be 10 times farther than I am by the time he's
I'm all for a gently used woman, like
Obsidian,
1,000 original miles on it. I'm good with that.
But women don't want each other to win, so they're not going to give each other a good game. They're going to tell them, oh, you look good in that outfit when you don't. They're going to tell them, oh, sleep around, because they know that hurts their friend's chances to actually win. Because a woman's worst enemy is always another woman, always.
Man.
First of all, y'all are all wrong.
Hold on 1 second. No Fear Jahir, thank you for the $10, gentlemen. I will not touch a big back, Shirley. No, thank you. Thank you. No fear, Jahir, for the 5. I mean, for the 10. And then we got Justice 098. Thank you for the 499. What's more important than body count is the one guy who's been hitting it for years off and on. That's the one who's going to be around long term. And my guy Noah, thank you for the 100 jewels. High 5. And then last but not least for now, Tech Nobility, $10. Women have their public number, their private number, and the delusional number of don't count men. Whichever numbers that hurt her market value will be omitted. Wow. Man, I'm gonna say
And
this.
studies have shown that too, by the way, that women tend to downrate their number, whereas men tend to inflate their number. That studies have shown that. Yeah.
So there was a study. I actually want to take this off real quick. That I wanted to put out here, and this was also said when asked. I actually need to go and pull up this actual study. When asked if they'd reverse their body count, most women said yes. And even for the women that try to tell themselves it doesn't matter, it doesn't count, especially if their numbers are fairly high, it's just not unusual for them to say there's men that didn't deserve to have access to me. That I now value my mind. I now realize my body's a temple. So they have this element where they're using a lot of euphemisms to basically explain having regret over the very thing they're saying that they shouldn't be judged for, and it's inconsequential. They're using a lot of language that ends up making it known they actually do regret some of the guys they ended up giving access to. Dave, what were you about to say?
No, I just, again, man, we got to be respectful. These women are out here catching strays. And Obsidian, I know you the OG. I got nothing but respect for you, but you can't sit up there and say that they're gently used. That's disrespectful. You got to start with some respect. My little brother Darren will tell you they're not gently used. They're certified pre-owned. World of difference.
And some of them are very well preserved, by the way. I saw one sister recently, and she was in her 40s, and I had to compliment her. You're very well preserved, madam. I have to
preserved. You sound like who did the body when somebody just lost their grandmama.
You're good. Yeah. Darwin, what was you about to say, man?
Yeah, man. The body count does matter. I think in that one clip where women were actually up in arms about other women having it, I typically see that as when women are trying to pursue relationships, they typically don't want to attach themselves to a woman who is highly promiscuous for the sake of, keeping these women away from their man. So, but if it's not in there, if they all in the streets hanging out together, it's all good. It's all fine. And Danny to move like that. When these women start settling it down, they don't want a woman like that that's able to that's highly desirable around their man. And I think the most critical part of this body count conversation is rarely talked about.
Wow.
And I had the luxury of having a conversation with a lot of women, and they broke it to me. They actually broke sister code and was like, y'all talk about the surface part of the body count dilemma. The real issue is not necessarily, for example, if we took 5 men, a woman had 5 men, that's an issue for a man. I mean, a woman had 5 partners, sexual partners. That's
all at the same time?
Not at the same time. Just over a course of maybe a year or two. The issue, there is an issue with that as the count. The serious issue that we don't really get into is how many rounds she had with each one of them.
What? Oh my God.
And they broke it down to me by
around. So the first one doesn't count. It's like you get a mulligan or something. Is that how it works?
No, think about it. Try to think about it like this. They asked me a question to get me to think a little deeper. They said, would you rather have a woman who had 1 body count, but she was married for 15 years and that man was banging her out hundreds and hundreds of times over a course of 15 years? Or would you rather have a woman B that had 3 men 1 time? And I had to think to myself,
well, what if they power drive her each 1 time? Would that count? I mean, how would that work?
But and that's where we kind of got into it, because everybody kept asking questions, and we just looked at the average man in the intercourse, you spend about 10 to 15 minutes with the woman.
I mean,
And
if
that's
you
5
slapping it
times. So
on the behind each one and just bang, you know what I mean? How would that work? What would be the mechanics of that? They're like, if one did a donkey punch, if another one smacked on the behind, and if another one was later on the side, and
for this case,
how would that work?
This case is just one person at a time, Ali. I get what you're trying to say, but it's one person at a time. It's one instant, and this man has spent 15 minutes in bed with her, versus a man who's been married to this woman. She got one body count, 15 years. Over how many times and how many ways have he penetrated and blew this woman back out? So it makes you think, like, damn, like which one is worse? So you got to kind of, once you start looking at how many rounds she had with each of those men, which they don't never talk about that. A woman could say she had 10 bodies, but she never did. We never talk about how many of those men she slept with, each 100 or 50 to 100 times. You know what I'm saying? Because of a long relationship, or just a long fling. You know what I'm saying?
You are the first person. Hold on, Darwin. You are the first person I have ever heard somebody mention this whole concept of not just the one situation, but actual rounds. And that example you gave, that is man. That is.
But if you think about a used car, Jeff, what's one of the best things that you look for in a used car? Single owner, right? This guy, one owner. Whereas if a car has had 5 owners, so let's just say that you got a car that was well taken care of. Well, it's got one owner. It might have high mileage, but then you got a car that's been through 5 owners. You know, you don't know what those different dudes have done. So it's how many men have taken possession of said thing.
I think we all fantastic. Come on in.
Yeah. I would much rather have a certified pre-owned used car versus a rental car, brother. So the same driver, same miles, same pad. As you said, Darwin, no man is, the sex declines in marriage, brother. So he might have been, chugging right along and going strong for them first few years, maybe 5, maybe 10. But if she's only been with that one man and she gets back out here, I'm willing to put up with that. Because again, their routine is their routine. Now, if they own some, some swinging and some, some of this non-vanilla stuff. Now, hey, but I think that's the exception to the rule. For the most part, body count matters because now, Darn, that is one thing. Like I said, I'm a repeat. What do you say? I
customer.
Yeah. I'm a repeat. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I get good reviews, so I get returns on my, on my encounters.
That is
flex. Yeah, man.
I get returns on my encounters.
Yeah, I get returns on my encounters, man. You can't get that BDR, Jeff. You don't never want that BDR, man. 6-star Google reviews.
Yeah, you don't want the bad D report. Yeah,
exactly. BDR. See, didn't know what it is. You don't want that BDR, bro. You got to have a good reputation and maintain it out here in these streets, bro. That's so crazy. Once you get references, bro, you good. You feel me? And now you got you a good rotation, and hey, life is good.
Now that's just me. I would most definitely rather have a woman, and it's just my opinion, man. And there's no right or wrong. I would rather have a woman who had 3 experiences with 3 different men one time, and have the second or the other option is a woman who done had one man, but if she had 300 sexual experiences with him. I'm just saying, I fundamentally believe, based off of my own experience, 15 minutes with one woman and then 10 years with my wife, the amount of damage I've done with just one woman versus, just that one instance. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's damage. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm about to say, buddy, it's destruction.
The amount of work I can do over X amount of years is just
bruising for real.
Versus, she go out 2 times on a weekend. Now she got 2 bodies, or she had. Because I just look at it like this.
Mm-hmm.
People say that one man is one body, but I'm willing to make the argument, if I can use math on it, that if a woman had sex with one man 1,000 times, I could say that's 1,000 bodies.
No. No, that math ain't math.
You was doing good.
You can't say that.
You gotta know when to get off the stage. You got to know when to get off the stage.
Jeff.
You've been had.
You've been
You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Well, let me hold on. Let me ask you this, Dave.
Hold on a second. Slim, $10. A degree makes you a better qualified employee, not a better woman, a better wife, nor mother. Women are judged by the caliber of man they can keep. Their egos are ruthless. They can't bear rejection. Thank you, Slim, for the $10. Black to the Future, thank you for the 10 as well. Shout out to the fellas writing from New Zealand. Hey, us Black Americans popping up everywhere like Nigerians. I'm looking forward to reading Dave's dissertation. Appreciate you for the love and support. Growth Talk, shout out to welcome back. Thank you for the $10. We're not getting virgins, gents. Mostly heavily used baby mamas, either physically ran through and emotionally ran through. I know a walking condom when I hear these late. Oh my God, geez. Damn. Prince Revolver, thank you for the $20. Perspective between men and women greatly differs, right down to the words we use. Body count to a woman signifies experience depending on the situation. Tell a woman you're a former porn star. Watch life to her. I'm guessing the life.
Watch the light come to her eyes. She gonna be like, "Oh, really?" Yeah, no, that's what he's saying.
Technobility, $5, gentlemen. Let's not forget that they only reveal general purpose partners. They never admit how many
mics
they have been rocked.
Y'all remember what Jill Scott did to the mic?
Yeah.
Hey, oh my God. And then Caveman, thank you for the 2. ROI, return on insertion, never one and done. Oh my God, Jesus. Dave, what were you about to say?
Just real quick. I just want to know, because I'm actually going to I'm meeting with Morehouse this weekend because I'm going to be speaking. Darwin, can you tell me what is the strain of weed you take where you come up with this stuff that just does not make sense? Like, I just want to know, are like when McGruff the crime dog goes to schools, how many times does your picture get used as an example? Because I thought I was creative, bro. There's something wrong.
Well, let me just ask you this question, Dave.
Sure.
Let's just say the conversation wasn't about body count. Let's just say we were asking a group of women how many times they had sex. Let's say you ask woman A, how many times have you had sex? She said, I've had sex 3 times. And then woman B says, I've had sex 1,000 times. Which one is worse?
It depends, because if it's
whoa.
No, you listen. I'm going to tell you why.
A good question. That's a good question.
First of all, I just found out that my good friend Mr. Fantastic is getting, frequent flyer coochie points. You know what I mean? So, do you want to follow Mr. Fantastic? And then what if the other 2 are Wesley Pipes and Mr. Marcus?
Well, can you answer the question first?
Just answer the question.
He's asking you.
Well, it could be worse. It could be Mandingo.
Without adding nuances to it, because we can flavor it up.
Y'all first hold on. Y'all know way too many male corn star names. No more name dropping of male corn stars on this platform. Gentlemen, pause.
I just want to hear him answer that. I just
want to know stop, Darwin. How do you know what they are, Jeff? Because you know the names too. I'm not putting names out there though. That's crazy word.
Too many names being named dropped on this platform. You named 3 already.
I said 2. You saying Mr. Fantastic's a corn star too?
No, because you said 2 and
no, sir.
One.
I mean, imagine having to come after. Imagine having to come behind Lexington.
No, pause.
What was that all about?
No,
you got to follow behind that. What the hell?
Think about it. Listen, think about it. If you don't just add all the nuances, if you just answer face value, I would say most of y'all would say the woman with 3 sexual experiences is not as worse as a woman with 1,000 of them. But then once you factor in the variety of partners or how many different partners, it completely changes. The contrast just flips.
But does it count if you jumped off the top rope into it? Does that matter?
No,
As
the
a pro
issue,
wrestler, I'm taking offense.
the issue is the comparison, though, because that's why they say women who have one or two bodies are actually happy, is because the more that they have to compare, the worse that their love life is. So the fact that there's 3 different men with 3 different hormones and sizes, pause, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff means that she'll be comparing those 3 men to you. Whereas if it's one guy, there's only one guy to measure up to.
So it's more like the night of 1,000 eggplants.
So let's
we don't give you time off, Obsidian. This is
you want to go on mute. I don't know what's going on. Darwin, I think that's a really legitimately good question, and I agree with you. Most men, if they were asked that scenario, would say the woman that had 3 sexual experiences compared to 1,000. Especially
but think
if they
about it,
had
Jeff. He made the argument that it was the comparison. Where does he draw the line if I keep duplicating the number from 1,000 to 2,000 to 1,000,000 times?
But it's still just one person.
Hold on. Are you going to still stand 10 toes down on the comparison being the issue?
A milli eggplants? Is that even possible?
No. Listen to what I'm saying.
Said 1,000,000 times.
She had sex. Let's just use a realistic number. 2,000 to 5,000 times. She done got her back blown in.
Yeah, she backed that thing
Where
up.
are you going to draw the line
times
in
on the
saying
same
that
guy?
the amount of time she had sex is too much versus just 3 to 4 different men one time versus 2,000, 5,000 times with the same man?
Same guy. Right.
I'm just trying to see if y'all are more focused on it just being a different guy than how many times she got her back. Because if that's the case,
is it the number of times or the number of guys? And I think that's what you're parsing out.
It's the owners,
Number of guys.
not the youth.
So what I can learn from this conversation is it don't matter if she had it once with 3 different guys. She's way more valuable. I mean, she's way less valuable than a woman who had 1,000 times with one man. That's what I'm.
But what if that one man can't put it down better than me? What if that one man has no diseases?
No,
I'm just saying.
I'm not disagreeing. I just
because
trying to understand
the more she's on the eggplant carousel, the more she's playing coochie roulette.
Yeah.
And no, what does Snoop Dogg say? Ain't no loving good enough to get burned while I'm up in it. One dude, and if that's the one dude, and that one dude is not doing nobody but her.
That's true.
Real quick, everybody that's currently watching, we have about 50 more people that we need to be added watching in order for us to hit the 500 people concurrently watching. So everybody, if you get the chance, please make sure you like this wherever you're watching from. Make sure that you share it with at least 1, 2, or even 3 people. And feel free to comment and let us know where y'all are watching from. Now, Obsidian had mentioned something earlier about that particular debate, and I'm going to play it real quick right now. Actually, we got some more super chats. Let me read those real quick before he comes back. DC Oldest Jenkins, thank you for the $5. No man only wants to wife up a doorknob. Non-select black men aren't the exception. I'm not doing anything that Pookie didn't have to passports up. Appreciate you for that. Black to the Future, thank you for another 10. Shout out to all the fellows that cracked an egg on a woman's head. Brian Pumper. Oh my God.
Have you ever did it when you put the foot on her head? Have you ever done that?
No.
And neither have you.
Yeah. That's crazy.
What the hell?
That is crazy. Obsidian mentioned
check it out. Let me try. I'm trying this way.
No, you don't check it out nothing. What are you talking about?
Bro, you 60.
Bro,
you about as bad as Jennifer Lewis. Sit your ass down somewhere. Get you some Metamucil and some prune juice.
I'm gonna play this with what Mia said, and we're gonna react and respond to this.
I want to be mean, but it's dirty. Okay, so personally, I do feel like a woman's body count does matter.
Why is that?
Because it's her value. I feel like if something's used, there's no value to it.
Do you believe that women have value outside of their body and their sexuality?
Yeah, of course. A woman can be smart and still sleep with a bunch of men, but why not be the whole package? Respect your body. It's your temple. It's a part of who you are, so respect it.
Well, that's interesting, actually. Why do you think it's disrespectful for a woman to sleep with multiple men?
Because you're allowing different energies onto you.
What if they're in committed, loving relationships? What if it's been like a long series of 2-3 year relationships over 10, 15 years?
Well, then you wouldn't be dating a bunch of people. You wouldn't be sleeping with a bunch of people if you're committed. So,
But you would have a high body count, right?
to me, I feel like a high body count is realistically maybe over 4 or 5. So when I think high body count, I'm thinking you're sleeping around, you're having one night stands. I respect it. You know, that's where agree to disagree comes into play.
Sure.
But me personally, it's self-control. Be mentally strong enough to say no. Be mentally strong enough to stick to one person. Yeah.
That's a totally valid preference. My argument is that a body count it's just one piece of data. And I think it's a pretty arbitrary piece of data because people change. They have complicated life stories. Maybe you're a party girl in your 20s and then you settle down and get serious, in your late 20s. Maybe you've gone through a bunch of shit, had a hard upbringing. So it's you have to address the individual in front of you, not just the number. Do you disagree with that?
That's a good opinion, but I stand firm on mine. Nobody should all have a piece of you. I wouldn't want somebody to hear, yeah, I had your girl.
Ooh. Ooh.
That guy used to be a pickup artist, Jeff, you said?
Yeah.
Of course. And now he's a male feminist, right? He did the whole he did the whoop-de-whoop. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And watch, there's gonna be some scandal of him trying to message underage girls or something. I'm telling you, all these male feminists always do this. Every single one is a perv. Every single one of them, man.
Mr. Fantastic, what do you think about what she was saying and what this gentleman sitting in front of her was stating about how that's a small data point that's pretty arbitrary and is not really relevant because people can change? What do you think?
Yeah, cat, bro. A woman can't be undicked. Okay, all right.
It's like busting the cap on that can of Pringles with that nice hiss. Once you do that, it means come on.
Yeah, man, nah, bro. I saw people do this thing back in the day, Jeff, where they would bless the bottle of Hennessy or whatnot. I was never a Hennessy guy, but they would pass the bottle around, and every now and again a lip would touch it. And I would just sit back, and that's another thing. I never smoked weed, Jeff. I never smoked weed, brother, because I never understood a whole bunch of group of grown men after they watched another man put all its saliva and then pass the medicinal material around the room, brother. Again, man, I'm just not for it, bro. Again, the more people that you have insert themselves in anything, the more chances that something uncanny is the outcome. I think that's the standard. So no, man, it's not arbitrary. I think that what makes it arbitrary is that no woman tells the truth. So you will never know. That's the only thing. The only part I agree with it not mattering is because there's not going to be any woman that runs down to you how many men she's been with. And then to Darwin's point, not just how many men, but how many times and what she did with that man.
Yeah,
because Jeff, I don't know if you know this, man. And I'm gonna try to keep it PG-13. But there are women out here nowadays that like to put their mouths around men's nether regions.
Oh, yeah. And men with the legs straight up, John.
Yes, the Lamborghini door legs, as I call it, Jeff. I can't have that, brother. That woman right there, throw her away.
Lamborghini doors.
The Lamborghini door legs.
Lamborghini door legs, man, and they proud about it. The women talk about it like
I've never heard men talking about this until about within the last 5 years.
Never heard man. I didn't know it was a thing.
The last 5 years, yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, it ruined adult entertainment for me, bro. It ruined adult entertainment because I was like, you be watching some shit, you training videos, we call them, and I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. I've never seen that move. And then it's like, no. I had to go back to the 2000s era, bro.
Y'all don't let y'all wives
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, man.
Don't make me. Hold on. I was at a couple party event where they were doing some like card game thing, and one of the cards was asking everybody, all the men, if they ever got their groceries ate, and it was like 30 people in the room, It was at least 5 guys that raised their hand in front of the whole John. With their girls there. With the chick, with the shorties with them. Like it was nothing. Dang. And I was like, I just never envisioned, like, I was like, oh my God, I did not know this was I just didn't know that this was a real thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Faith Evans broke my heart, bro. Faith Evans broke my heart.
Oh, she said that about who?
Biggie.
Oh, wow. Really?
No.
Oh, wow.
Jeff,
I could never listen as soon as I get home ever again.
Unbelievable.
Now we know the reason why Biggie was so enthusiastic.
We know why Pac made a song that's the first thing out of his mouth. That's why I don't.
Oh my God. So real quick, man. We got 2 more super chats I want to read real quick. Trackstar, $5. What more bodies she has can make it easy for her to say no to you because she done it before and not afraid to do it again. And then Cape and Caveman again with another 5. You ever tried cleaning dried eggs off your car without damaging the paint? Dudes want 304s with dozens of dry, rotten eggs that been. Oh, geez, y'all kind of harsh this evening with some of these comments, man. Tech Nobility, thank you for the $5. It's hard to understand how a woman will not let a bunch of folks in her house, but let 63 people into her body. Shake my head. $2 tossing salad with croutons is crazy. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
No, not mature tonight.
No fear, Jahir. Y'all got to start putting pause in some of these comments because y'all getting out of pocket. With Mr. Fantastic is preaching black taboo all day. All right, gentlemen. So I've been really patient trying to hear from everybody's perspectives. I've seen this stuff that's constantly debated and argued about on panels about whether or not body count matters. I've seen male feminists do exactly what this gentleman did. I've seen women double down and say that it shouldn't matter. I'm going to just probably give the thing that maybe every man who engages in this stuff actually needs. And my hope is that when we just zip through this, if you're very interested, feel free to just donate me, I don't know, $5 on Cash App or something. I'll text you or I'll email you straight this PowerPoint. But the question obviously is, does body count matter? And obviously there's a lot of debates. People are giving a lot of opinions one way or the other. This is going to be hopefully the thing that's the nail in the coffin for if you're ever going to get into this conversation again. The term body count refers to the total number of sexual partners an individual has had. The scientific research indicates that the metric correlates with distinct biological, evolutionary, and psychological outcomes. A higher number of sexual partners is statistically associated with increased health risk, altered neurochemical bonding, and specific shifts in relationship psychology. Here are the 5, which is science, biology, psychology, reasons why sexual partner history impacts the individuals and the relationships. Pathogen transmission and microbiome. What's it called?
Microbiome. You said it right.
Yeah, biome alteration. This is basically the one where, obviously, for people who, you can read it as you're going along, but with every sexual encounter, it introduces exposure to viral and bacterial infections, many of which can remain asymptomatic for years. And that cancer correlations, higher partner counts directly elevate the statistical risk of acquiring high-risk strains of HPV, which is linked to cervical, penile, and throat cancers. That's just one. Obviously, they also include what's it called, the BV for a lot of ladies in terms of hormone imbalances as well. Point number 2. Because I know that, and this is the other piece, when people say, "Oh, you're just spitting stuff in thin air," where do you get this from? The evidence for cancer risk, the British Journal of Cancer, the American Journal of Epidemiology, to prove those exact points. Point number 2, neurochemical habituation and bonding changes. Oxytocin dampening, the hormone oxytocin facilitates deep psychological bonding and trust during intimacy. Dopamine habituation, novelty-seeking behaviors trigger heavy dopamine spikes, which can desensitize the brain's reward pathways over time. Bonding attenuation, repeatedly forming and breaking intense biological bonds can habituate the endocrine response, sometimes making subsequent long emotional attachments feel less intense. What's the proof? Frontiers of behavioral neuroscience have proved it. As far as the neurobiology as regards to pair bonding, how it affects pair bonding. The evidence for habituation, the Coolidge effect. Feel free to look it up and what it is. And again, they have overwhelmingly proven this again and again at the tail end. I'll show you where they got that study from. And then evolutionary psychology, eternal uncertainty. For a evolutionary standpoint, males evolved a psychological aversion to high partner counts to mitigate the risk of investing resources. The only main relevance with this one, I would say more in particular, is more so the cheating rates as well as the paternity fraud that we have found out, which is over approximately 30%. And that's just for the ones that have been tested. Evidence for universal preferences. Psychologist David Buss, who we mentioned earlier, he said across a massive cross-cultural sample spanning 37 distinct cultures, different rules, different standards, different socialization potential practices, as well as even religious placements. They documented that both sexes utilize past sexual history as a proxy for assessing future relationship risk. Now, people would say, well, how do women do this? When they get with the nerd, they do it in the reverse. They'll pick the guy that they think has a lower body count at the tail end when it's time to settle down to have children with, versus the guy that's considered high risk because he's still out there running the street sleeping with a lot of women. So they'll actually factor and use body count as well, just in the reverse. Last two, marital stability and infidelity correlation. Divorce rate. Sociological data indicates a strong correlation between high premarital partner counts and the elevated rates of marital dissatisfaction. Infidelity risk. Behavioral psychology track shows that a history of multiple short-term partners is one of the strongest statistical predictors of future emotional and physical infidelity. Individuals habituated to partner rotation are statistically more likely to continue scanning for alternative mates even while in a committed relationship. Here's the evidence as well. I'm not going to go through all of that, but it's just the Institute for the Family Studies as well as the Journal of Sex Research. And then last but not least, and when I said before, this actually impacts men too. So the argument that this is only something that affects women, A, is not true. And that and that the data actually says that when men clear 10 plus, that they're actually having a huge spike as well as it relates to divorce as well. Now, the same can be said of, well, who's initiating the divorce, but that's a different conversation. And then last but not least, attachment theory, for those who are fully aware of it. Insecure attachment. A high partner count is frequently correlated with avoidant and anxious attachment styles, where short-term intimacy is used to avoid genuine emotional vulnerability. Sexual conditioning. The brain learns from repetition. Conditioning oneself for short-term low-consequence encounters can make adapting to the compromises of long-term monogamy psychologically challenging. A vast history of past partners creates a fragmented baseline of comparison, which can diminish subjective satisfaction with a current partner's performance or appearance. Here's the evidence as well for that. And then to conclude, men and women utilize different primary hormones to bond emotionally during and after sexual intimacy. Oxytocin for women is more dominated. Women release significantly higher levels of oxytocin during intimacy, which physically triggers feelings of deep trust and attachment. Repeatedly overriding this system through high partner counts can lead to emotional burnout or an inability to form and stable pair bonds. Vasopressin for men. Men are more heavily on vasopressin bonded with testosterone for attachment, which is heavily tied to the psychological drive to protect and to provide for a single partner. High casual partner counts habituates men to a reward without investment loop, down-regulating their vasopressin response and making long-term protective commitment feel less rewarding. So to conclude, there's clearly differences in the male perspective in terms of what this looks like. With men with high partner counts are biologically driven by the Coolidge effect, a mammalian reflex where a male exhibits renewed sexual interest every time a novel female is introduced. A man with a high partner count has heavily conditioned his brain to respond to novelty, making long-term monogamy uniquely difficult. Whereas for females, and AJ mentioned it earlier, comparison baseline. Women with a higher partner counts are more likely to struggle with emotional romantic comparison. They may struggle with the contrast effect, comparing their husband or current partner's flaws to a mental composite of the best traits of various partners, leading to marital satisfaction.
So they're putting together a guy kind of like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Frankenstein's
so to
monster.
conclude,
Yeah.
the damage to a marriage is a two-way street. A high partner count makes both men and women statistically bad bets for long-term monogamy. However, the pathway to that failure is deeply gendered. Men are driven by an unquenchable thirst for novelty, while women are often driven by an emotional comparison and bonding disruption. So, body count matters to a degree. It's not the only thing that's factored in, but to say that even if it doesn't matter for the person who's agreeing to be in the relationship, it can still have an impact on the relationship is the whole point. There's an ample literature on all these different domains that I've mentioned, and people are giving opinions about this stuff and have never looked it up or ever looked in or even read on any of this. It's been proven again and again and again that it's not 100% determinative. It's just saying that it is a statistically relevant factor that can absolutely impact your future relationship outcomes. Absolutely. It's not the only factor. Again, does they have a resiliency factor? Have they figured out how to work on their attachment? Have they addressed their attachment issues? Have they sorted out what it is that they were looking for? Are they putting things in place so that they aren't comparing the person they have with the people that they've been with previously? There are a lot of those. Again, do they have other baggage as well? There's a lot of different factors at play, but to lie and basically say that it doesn't have any effect, it has no influence, it will not impact women on a biological or men on a biological or psychological front is a lie. It's a flat out verifiable lie, and that's the data, that's the proof, and that's 1/10 of what I could have shown you. So, gentlemen, when y'all heard all of that, when y'all read all of that, what y'all think?
Yeah, if I could just, there was one point that you had made about chicks are with the risky dude when they're young, and then they have kids by the safe guy. I actually think that it's the opposite, where they look for those biological traits. You know what I'm saying? The risky guys, they have the babies by young, and then want to get with the safe guy later on. They want the stability from the safe guy, but they want to reproduce with the risky guy because he has all those biological traits. He's tall. He's good or bad. He's out, maybe he's in the streets or whatever. But those are these traits that attract women to want to reproduce with, and then they get older, 29, 30, 31. Then they want the safe guy. So it's this new kind of dating strategy where that's what the whole stereotype of the cleanup man comes from. So
yeah. What about you, Dave?
When I lived in Texas, there was a preacher I used to listen to all the time, and his most famous sermon, just like how you had Shirley Caesar would hold my mule. This particular pastor, he said, back then hoes didn't want me. Now I'm hot hoes all on me. That's basically what winds up. I'm sorry, 304 is all on me. It don't flow the same, Jeff. You just have your editors clip it. I'm sorry. Anyway, the thing of it is, at some level, we have to realize that and again, I would love to know how many of those people in that study were black, but what I do know is this. I've seen episodes of Family Guy talk about this. I've seen movies going as far back as me being 4 years old talking about this. It's always the same. It's always they want to have all the fun, and when they have all the fun, then they settle down. It's the Jodeci boys to men theory. Boys to men are the types of dudes that women want to bring home to their moms. Jodeci, not now, not before the pipe, not before the pipe, not now, before the. I don't know the recipe, but Jodeci was who you want. You know what I mean? Because they was crazy jailbirds. You send them there. They telling you I'm fiending for it. I'm standing in the desert. It's been an hour, and they're wearing leather in the desert. Do you have any idea the level of commitment? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So after they have been Afghanistan, or as I like to call it, Biden bombed, meaning that they've been bombed out and depleted, then it's stepdaddy season. Then they want to find a good, nice man to settle down with because, of course, they've been pookified. So yeah, I mean, you're the clinician. Why you always asking me? You done put the data in, and then listen. I just want to find the all black one. I want the all black survey to see how that one went.
Well, what I would say, because I didn't have time to look up the all black one, wouldn't it be worse?
Yes. It'll be 1,000 times worse. I mean, Mr.
For the
Fantastic just told y'all he got punch cards.
So the whole so the whole point I'm making is it's statistically significant, and the population that tends to be the loudest about saying that it's not relevant and that it's not relevant, that it's not relevant, it's not significant. We have the outcomes that we do in terms of marriage rates, STD rates, maternal syphilis rates, et cetera, single parent household rates. So it just so happens that the same population who's probably behaving as if previous sexual encounters and partners doesn't matter, the consequences of that, I think our community probably reflects the most. The data is there. It's again, if you put the racial component to it, it's probably going to be significantly worse. And yeah, it is what it is. Now, with that said, I agree with the first doctor when he said at the beginning, it's not the only factor that you should be paying attention to. It's one of many. But I disagree with him saying that it has no actual that her having a high body count has absolutely nothing to do with what leads to the relationships falling apart, and it's just that her being treated differently. First of all, I know that that's false because he's basing that on men judging women on the front end about their sexuality, previous sexual acts, not on the back end when they've already married her and had children with her. So the odds of that being a barrier of why he won't have sex with her, won't marry her, won't have children with her, those men, the men that she's getting divorced from, are the men that overlook that, apparently. So I don't think that, and again, I actually gave the data that reflected what's actually happening in terms of her neurochemistry and why both sexes use varying different strategies for why it does matter at some point in a lot of people's lives. And then last but not least, I had this argument. All the women that say body count doesn't matter. Do you think any of these women would say if a man was interested in them or wanted to be in a relationship with them, wouldn't they want to know if he ever had sex with another man? Would every single woman that's heterosexual and is saying that body count don't matter, how many of that, what's the percentage of those women that you believe would not want to know if that man has ever had sex with another man?
30%.
Yeah.
30%.
Lower, bro. I'd say 90% of 90% of women would want to know and be told if a man, if a man that was pursuing them had sex with another man. 90% of women would want to know that.
Yeah.
Jeff.
And they say that
it's 90%, bro.
Jeff, there was an article, if you go back and look that in talking about our demographic specifically, to where they had to tell black women about dealing with men that knowingly had sex with men, brother. So that's why I'm saying what I say. I've made a collage of men that exclusively have sex with men, or they call themselves bisexual, but we all know that don't exist. There was this one guy on Kendra G that went on there and said, "Hey, men only," with a little lisp behind it. And this man said, Jeff said, 99, literally, this is real math. 90+% of the people that reached out to this man were women. For a man that came on that show telling you he is looking for pussy, not,
Hear me out. Because you're assuming when I say they would want to know that it's strictly based off the parameters of their comfort level with it personally. No, I'm saying from a social lens, a lot of women wouldn't, as long as she knows, she would want to know so she can make the proper adjustments and decisions. A lot of these women also don't want to be walking around arm in arm or walking down the aisle with the man that half the city knows has been sleeping with men. They'll sleep with him. They'll mess around with him because he still got the man parts at the end of the day. But them wanting to know that information so they can figure out where to compartmentalize how he fits in my world, whether he's a one-night stand, a fling on the side, or I can take him seriously for a relationship. There's multiple factors beyond simply whether they're personally comfortable with it or not. That's why I say 90% of them at least want to know so they can know how to respond.
And with that being said, brothers, in this day and age, in 2026, the year of our good Lord, please make sure you're looking at all my charts and information regardless, brother. Okay,
bruh.
You know what I mean? Make sure you are inspecting, okay, before you go injecting, brother. Okay, it'll save your life.
He's preaching today. Who else
When
we
they-
got? Strong Success 199. These male feminists know not what they do.
Yes, they
I
do.
think they do.
They
Yes,
know.
Yes,
That's
they
their
do.
grit.
Yes, they
Yes,
do.
they do.
Yep.
Absolutely, they
Mhm.
know. They're fully aware what they're doing.
Hey!
Angry man.
Listen, sir, when you're ready, let us know. You're more than welcome to come through. We definitely hope to have you on. Appreciate you the $20 all-star panel. Salute to the entire panel. Oh, gotta bring the legend BGS in the building as well.
The legend.
It's the Big Bear 199. Good topic, Jeff. Looking forward to the book. Yes, sir.
Yeah, the book.
The
Announcement
book.
in August, very shortly. Just putting up the finishing touches before I get ready to turn it in. So I'm excited about that. Everybody
Congratulations, man.
hates mine. Sorry, Jeff. F that research. LOL. They need to show me a study with only black men because we all got 10 plus bodies. I ain't trying to hear that. But again, man, the marital rates are. It's not a reflection just of women and their issues that pop up in relationships. Men also can have a difficult time of not getting distracted.
But not as much as the women do. Okay,
Just not as much as the women.
Not as not even close. They've shown by studies. You've probably seen this, Jeff. Okay, women, when women go beyond 5 bodies, okay, their divorce rate doubles. When they go beyond 5 bodies, their divorce rate doubles. Okay, I know you've seen that study.
Yeah.
And there's a very good book by Teresa Crenshaw, The Alchemy of Love and Lust, where she documents this. Okay, the bonding hormone is central to a woman's love life. It helps her bonds to her children and her mate. Okay.
Yeah.
When that gets burnt out, not only does she have a problem bonding with her mate, but also her children too. So it affects her whole lifestyle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So a woman's bonding, that's how come in cultures they limit her body count and not so much the man, because it's way more important her bonding to her mate and her children than it is for man.
And I think based on the Coolidge effect versus this quote unquote contrast effect and how this tends to happen between male and females, him wanting to sleep with another female doesn't automatically mean he wants to end the marriage or the relationship.
No.
Whereas her being dissatisfied because of the composite comparisons of all her previous experiences does sound more like it will lead to her being dissatisfied with the relationship and wanting to leave and end it.
Anybody that's had a low body count woman and a very high body count woman can tell you the difference. Okay. And I've had both. I've had a woman that had a total of 3 bodies and she was 40, and I've had women that that are probably into the teens and 20s and probably even higher. Okay, and there's a very big difference on how she bonds to you and how she treats you versus a low body count woman. Okay, it's stark. Okay, that's how come a man will sleep with a 304, but he's not going to marry a 304. Okay.
Got you.
And the comparison with a woman with a body count of 1,000, okay. Number one, what kind of woman is going to allow 1,000 people inside of her?
Jesus.
Not even 1,000 eggplants.
No matter the size of the member, right? Okay, what is in her psyche would have her have sex with 1,000 guys? Okay. I mean, if I'm sitting that woman on Jeff's couch, Jeff's going to have some questions. Okay. Just in a number, no matter who the guys are, okay? Just gonna have some questions about her childhood, okay? What in you will allow you to actually sleep with 1,000 guys as a woman in this culture?
One other thing, BGS, is I think a lot of these chicks that do the high body count thing, these feminists and these modern women, they want to prove the point to the all-knowing they. They need to know that I'm strong and independent. They need to know that I'm educated. Who is they, right? Because women don't even have the natural sex drive that men do. So you're gonna have 1,000 bodies. You didn't enjoy sleeping with all of them. So what are you doing it for?
She might have. What I'm saying is, okay, a woman with a body count that high, 9 times out of 10, probably 99 times out of 100, has something psychologically wrong with her.
Yeah.
So just in that, okay. And I used to tell women, this is like 25 years ago, right? Okay. I don't care what your body count is, okay. if you're going to get with a guy that you want to keep, it's no more than 4. Because he's going to look at you differently. And tell me I'm lying if it gets over 4 or 5. Okay, maybe 10 with the younger guys because it's a little bit more loose. But thing is, there's a certain number where guys going to put you in a different category.
Wow. And real quick, man, Angry Man, Obsidian, if you got his cell, can you
I just texted him, so I don't know if he
you got it to him? Okay.
Yeah.
But thank you for the 10. He said Big Mama warned these chicks about everything in that study.
Yeah. It's a very good book called The Alchemy of Love and Lust by Teresa Crenshaw. She was actually a sexologist with and she died maybe like 10 years ago, but the book was written in 95. She actually documents all of this, all the chemicals, and because there's more than just those chemicals. There's about 10 or 15 that cause a woman to bond, and you burn those things out, and they document it. Go ahead.
So real quick before we continue with the super chats, we got a legend in the building.
You got a founder.
Legend.
You got a founder. You got a founder. Okay, you got one of the founders.
Himself is pulling up, man.
The founder, the Obsidian and the Angry Man. Got the founders in the building. Okay, all we need is O'Shea. Okay, to jump in.
What's going on, Angry Man? How you doing, brother?
What's good? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What you think about this topic, man? And Jennifer Lewis talking about the 63 guys that you've been with.
What's her psyche like?
Well, we see what her psyche's like. And I'd say that probably had an effect on it as well. But like I said in the super chat, what's crazy about this is everything that science is proving today in 2026 is what old folks said back in the day. Because Big Mama Ben said this. Big Mama Ben telling these girls that you don't want to be having sex with a bunch of dudes because you giving them a piece of your soul.
Yep.
Facts. And what's wild is I'm seeing panels of men that's doing what the other guy did, that the white gentleman did, where he basically is trying to condition them to say what type of father would you be to tell your own daughter that message? That how you treat your body and how many people you have sex with doesn't matter and it's inconsequential. What father would say that to his child?
Somebody that doesn't know.
Everybody
doesn't know. Somebody doesn't know. That's misinformed and been feminized because everybody that's gone to school knows that most feminists and the way they teach kids now that nature doesn't matter. Okay, it's all about nurture. How you train, how you're taught. That's how come you can be a female because you want to be a female, and a male because you want to be a male, because nature doesn't matter. And it's, even though the hardcore science says that it does. That's how the women think they can have a baby in their 40s like they can when in their 20s. Is because they think that nature doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah. They think the wall doesn't matter is because they think the wall is how I look. No, the wall means that by the time you get 25, 85% of your eggs are gone. Okay. And all over the world, they tell you that's how come when in China, Shang Yu means that 25, basically you're leftover. It's because all your eggs are gone. All your eggs are gone. You're no good. Okay, as far as reproduction. So the way they inform women nowadays, man, with this feminist rhetoric that there is no such thing as a wall. I'm just as good as a man. I can do the same thing a man can do. You don't have the same body that a man has. Okay, a man's testosterone will prevent him from bonding. Men bond to their children. They don't necessarily bond to the woman the same way. Okay. Women, children cause bonding hormones by proximity because those are his offspring. He'll bond to his children. He won't necessarily bond to his woman. Okay?
Well, I think because I noticed what you were saying, Jeff, about about how it affects the men.
Yeah.
I think even though it might affect the men biologically, I think men bond to their families for a different purpose. I think it's duty for us.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So you'll have a guy that's in a relationship, and we all know this. Guys will stick it out in relationships, even if the relationship starts getting bad, because they want to stay there for the kids and they want to try to make it work. So I think for guys, it's a little bit different.
Definitely
So
agree with that.
I agree that when you get into a relationship with a woman who done had X amount of partners, that there's an increased risk. Looking at that study, I don't agree that the divorce rate fluctuates based off of one person, adding one person per count. It changes the rate of divorce. I do agree that it puts you at odds. It increased the risk. But in terms of selecting a woman, if y'all are saying that it's true that the women are not disclosing their counts, then this count argument or this dilemma is just, it seems like it really only matters in terms of having debates on podcasts or arguing why it matters against people who don't believe it. But if the woman if the woman is not even being truthful about it and the men are still picking at them, and there's really no straight line direct correlation to the relationship failing.
Well, it still matters when you look at it from a biological standpoint. Women were never supposed to have this much access to this many men.
Yeah, that's fact.
So if you look at the way human beings normally were before we got, before modernity, like before we have this modern society, you live in a village. There's only a certain amount of men that you're going to be around. So you're going to pick somebody and that's who you're going to be with. But nowadays, and that affects the men too, because men, we've never had this much access. Like we can go online and see women all over the world. And I think it's an overload that human beings just aren't used to. I don't even think we've seen the full effects of it yet.
Well, I'm talking about in terms of being picked today. I agree with you that we never had this much access. The things that are happening today wasn't happening in the past. But if we just focus on what's going on in 2026, in terms of a woman being selected, and she don't have to be transparent. There's nothing that you can detect at hello until you get knee deep into a relationship and you start seeing all the psychological collapses or whatever you disclose in that PowerPoint. I think it's really too late at that point. I think you got to cross a lot of these circumstances that you mentioned in that PowerPoint is something that you're going to have to deal with when you cross the bridge.
Yeah, but the thing is, the thing is, them denying it still affects the relationship. Just because she didn't disclose it to you doesn't mean it's not happening in your relationship. You just don't.
I didn't say it wasn't either.
Yeah,
I'm just saying she can get picked, she can get rings, she can get the lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'm saying in terms of that, it doesn't matter.
Well, I think well, if you're making are you making the argument that they're still getting picked regardless?
I'm making an argument unless this woman is completely transparent or somebody without a shadow of doubt knows the transparency behind her sexual history. What y'all have said, y'all communicated that they're not even telling you.
The thing is, what I said is, if she discloses it, okay, and above a certain body count, you're going to put her in a different category. That doesn't mean you're not going to pick her, but that means you're going to see her differently.
We just made the premise that the women are not even disclosing it. So you won't even be.
But that's not what I. That's not what I.
That's cool. Well, no, that's cool. So, Darwin, I think this comes with experience as a man and whatnot, and then just word of mouth and so on and so forth, and her reputation preceding her, right?
Yeah. Doing your due diligence.
Everyone. Well, you don't even, for the most part, you can tell a 304 when you're around one. For the most part,
with certain traits.
If you walk her, we all got tests, Darwin. So if you want to know, how friendly your old lady is, what do? You go to the local hood club and see how many hugs she get.
Yes.
If she's hugging everybody in the club and everybody's whatever, and these men are so comfortable with approaching her, that's why we build these things within ourselves and we teach it to each other to know these things, because we know that the women aren't being transparent and aren't being honest. Let me get this
straight. You're saying one of the tests I can use is to monitor a woman getting X amount of hugs, and then I can extrapolate that to determine her body count.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, that's one of
you
many.
can give a rough estimate is because if you go into a club and she's really comfortable with men,
I don't
and
know.
most women,
I mean, I get what y'all saying, but I don't know.
and most women with low body counts are not that comfortable with men in the club. Okay.
Yeah, what most women with low body counts don't even have that many male friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yes.
just we men know how men work.
Yeah.
So we know a man is not going to hang around a woman just to be platonic.
Okay, so
And
y'all
like I
talking
said,
about the like.
Darwin, real quick, Darwin, if you found out your girl knew 2-3 bouncers or party promoters, you probably understand what comes with that. That's part of the game. So I don't know, why you're acting like that. Most men aren't going to factor that in. We assume they're not going to tell us the actual answer. We're going to look at these other additional factors as well.
Tells,
the tells.
Okay, so listen, I agree with that. But I don't think we can just say that we concretely know that she has this X amount of count just based off of her.
No.
It's a lot. You can tell.
We're not saying that it's concrete, Darwin. We're not saying it's concrete, but if it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it quacks like a duck.
You would have to see what a biological and psychological collapse in the relationship to be able to say, okay, this is probably because you had a high body count. I didn't know the count. But I'm seeing these factors that you disclosed in the PowerPoint to reveal that she probably did have a high body.
It's one of many factors that you're looking at. It's one of many factors that you're looking at, and I'll explain why. So when Jennifer Lewis in that interview, she discussed her bipolarness.
Yes.
She discussed trying to find herself. She discussed her body not being a temple, the regret that she had, what she was chasing, even in terms of attention and validation. Women that share a lot of those same traits often ends up pursuing hypersexuality. That's what it is. So even trauma victims, that's a PTSD symptom, is hypersexuality. So what we're saying is put 2 and 2 together. It's not just, is she being honest or not about her sexual history. I'm looking at the other factors that could have potentially explained why she's single now.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Most sex workers. Hold on. If she would have never said I had 63, be honest with me. How many would you have guessed she had based off of her the mannerisms you just
20 plus,
50. Easily. Loud, obnoxious, always got to be the star of attention in the room woman. 30 plus.
Yeah, at least.
30
I say minimum. Definitely high double digits. And furthermore, just real quick, Jeff, you got
it. Hollywood too.
Do I gotta point out the elephant in the room?
What?
I lost weight, angry man.
Look, y'all know, dudes know. When you meet a girl, you know. The problem is dudes be lying to themselves because they want to smash.
Yeah, they want to smash. Yeah, that's true.
Because let's be real about it. If you like, out of every chick that you've ever dealt with, usually the chick that you deal with that got a low body count compared to the one that got a high body count, they act differently when you get intimate. There's a different type of intimacy between those two types. So you know what time it is. It's just it's like a lot of red flags that guys see, especially when it comes to black men. We'll overlook a lot of red flags because of them yams. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's facts.
Like if that booty is big and them breasts is big and she pretty as hell, you gonna overlook all that. She could have cursed out. You took her on a date. She done cursed out the valet. She done cursed out the freaking waiter, and you ain't even thinking about that. You just thinking about them yams.
Ask Big Tigger.
Yeah.
Ask Big Tigger. Okay.
I think what you mentioned in that is just is simply pointing a finger at the fact that we know the cues to determine that this woman has had experience, great experience. We can say great experience. But my argument is about the count number. And if we can all concede that you won't know the actual count unless she tell you, and you can get in a relationship with this woman, you can pay attention to all the cues. Having that count, even Jeff just admitted that he would be off by over 50% of her disclosed count that she was transparent about it, just based off of her mannerism.
Darwin, you don't know about the rule of 3? You ask a girl, you ask her what her body count is, whatever number she say, you multiply it by 3. It's the reverse for us guys. You ask a guy how many chicks he done had, you divide that by 3.
Most of our body count chicks don't even know their body
Let me
count.
ask you this: when you do that math, is there ever a time where you actually confirm that number that you came up with is actually true?
Well, I don't think you need to confirm it, because
that's my
if
whole
you
argument.
look, but here's the thing though. If you ask a chick, "What's your body count?" and she get offended,
let's go.
Hold on. If she get offended about a prenuptial, if she get offended about a paternity test when she's not even pregnant yet, we're just talking about it.
Oh, yes.
There's
two entities that do not want a paternity test. Okay, is the women and the state. Okay,
it must be the government.
The government does not want paternity testing at birth because it's going to cause a whole lot of bullshit going on in society. Okay,
yeah, they're gonna lose that money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no. The thing is, you're gonna break up families when it gets to paternity test. That's how France doesn't do it. Okay.
Hold on, real quick, and then AJ, I want you to come in after this. Growth Talk, $5. Women deal with these street dudes that are in and out of jail and pretend not to know he's been with another man when he was gay for the stay. Oh,
they don't care.
Jesus.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't care.
Then we have Prince Revolver, $10. Outside of clapping, men are not going to stay if a family doesn't come out of a relationship. If she already has a family, men don't want to invest. Women created a market of sharing bodies perpetually.
Yeah, especially in the Black community. Yeah, that's been a while, I think, for a long time.
X-Catch, thank you for the $12. Protect yourselves out there, gentlemen, for sure. Thank you for that. Trackstar, thank you for the 2. Does culture make a difference and or race?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Yeah, it absolutely does. K to the G, thank you for the $10. Just to add a little wrinkle to the mix, we're talking about romantic pursuits, but what about mothers with high body counts and how it affects their children? I have never looked into that as a study.
The bonding hormone. That's what. Read the book, Jeff. The Alchemy of Love and Lust. Okay. The bonding hormone is primarily for infants, right?
Yeah.
The 2 times that will actually get activated highest is orgasm and childbirth. Okay. For a reason. Bonding hormones actually, especially during childbirth. Okay. What happens when that's affected toward their children?
Interesting. Prince Revolver, $10. For a lot of men, the woman is greater than God. No, she is God. By that logic, she can't be judged, and she shouldn't. If they want access to God, men will sacrifice family and friends and money for.
You gotta be black.
Yeah, that's definitely some black shit right there.
Dub Will, thank you for the $4.99. Checking in late, but salute, brothers. Thank you for the gift for sure. Who else we got? Slim. Thank you again for the 2. 304s think they can tell God and time what to do. Hashtag the wall. Jesus. Joel, $2. Thank you for that. And who else we got? SX Moneymakers. Thank you for the $1.99. Man, this feels like we're in a barbershop. And MS Delta.
Hey, this Delta guy.
Hacks banger. Appreciate
you, MS Delta.
And listen, y'all, we're going to be wrapping up very, very shortly. So if you have any additional super sets you want to send in, please send them in the next.
We need an Angry Man tax, man. He showed up. Okay. We need an Angry Man tax. You got a founder in the building. Okay.
Yeah. And then last but not least, Joel, $5 for long-term relationships. We as men are on the side of safety. I'd rather wrongfully inflate her number than get burned by being nice.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So listen, I had already showed that mini PowerPoint that kind of shows that it is a statistically relevant factor. It's not the only factor, but to say that it's not a factor, it won't contribute. The science doesn't say that. The data doesn't say that. It actually says the opposite, and it's not a 1 or 2% difference. So, out of this grand scale for each of you, out of all the things you look at and pay attention to when it comes to mate selection, long-term commitment, or if marriage for those that are still trying to pursue it, what percentage would you put on your belief of her having an extensive body count? What percent would you say that matters?
I'd say at least 50%. At least 50%. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would say 50%. and have it more if it's people that I know.
Oh God!
Come on, man! You can't be that, dude. All your friends passed around, and now you wife.
Oh, you came for violence, man. You came in for violence.
BGS, Angry Man, Dave. Do you
Yes.
think it would matter if she was like from Italy and you found out she was 3 or 400 up in Italy in a different continent, and now she's over in the U.S.?
In other words, your reputation matters in a marriage, especially in mating, unless you at a 100 octane level. They pass around chicks all the time, so it doesn't matter to them. Okay, but for regular guys, yeah, it does matter because I don't want to walk in and Jeff gives me that nod like, yeah, I've been with her before, right?
Jeff smelling his fingers.
Listen, real quick.
That's something you don't want to see. Would walk in and half the guys in that place have been with your woman. Okay, that's probably the worst day of your life. Okay.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I used to work with Gerald Levert, and the funny thing is, his father was in a group called the OJs, and that group had the most disrespectful, dirty macking song on the face of the planet. And it said, "Lovin', the girl's got plenty good lovin'. Ask me how I know, and I'll tell you so. She used to be my girl, and if I had a chance, I'd take her back. As a matter of fact, right away, now, today. Yes, it matters.
Ask Big Tigger.
Big Tigger fumbled Rudy. He fumbled Rudy Huxtable for Thought Pocket Crockett. No, we're good.
Because the Punani is better. That's why.
You know, it's not. When the Punani cost you a syndication check in TV gigs, no.
People lost empires over Punani, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. And we call them people stupid.
We can. Okay, we can.
I would agree. Big Ticket know what he did. Go back and look at that mug shot.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he does. He does.
Look at that mug shot. In that mug shot, that's the face of a man who has accepted his fate.
Yeah, you got caught with a needle in your arm. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Dave, what percent would you say it matters out of all the things that you would be paying attention to choose a woman?
Oh man, 75%.
Oh wow, wow,
damn.
Speak on that, man.
Okay, so the thing of it is, right? I've known my wife 30 some odd years. You understand what I'm saying? Like, great reputation, wonderful person. Don't ever run into a situation where as though I got to worry about where. And I've lived in 34 cities in 19 states. You understand what I'm saying to you? I have worked in the industry. I've seen people who you think, I mean, superintendents, motivational speakers, actors, all these types of women that you wouldn't think would be on that carousel, and they are. Because of the way that I came up and the things that I have seen, because you're not going to find that everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Hey, remember when we used to? That's never happened.
That's why Denzel married who he married.
Listen, Paulette is a good one.
Yes.
That's all. That's what I'm saying. What happened with Jonathan Majors? He said, "Oh, I need me a Coretta." I mean, never mind. Never mind. That metaphor don't even work. Never mind. I'm good. Angry Man, good to see you, big homie.
What's going on, fam?
Trying to be like you when I grow up.
Yeah, how you doing, Angry Man? It's been a long time, man. How you been?
What's going on, Obsidian? What's good
I
with
see
you,
you
bro?
all over on Facebook, man. Congratulations.
Man, I'm
make that money.
I ain't getting much sleep, but I'm fighting.
Doing a great job.
Angry Man, what would be the percentage you would place on factoring that into dealing with a woman nowadays?
It's gonna be high. I wouldn't know what the exact percentage would be, but it's up there. It's higher than it's up there with what Dave said. It's 75% or higher.
Wow.
Because I think it depends on what your goal is. Because if you're trying to wife this woman, the whole point. I remember Jerry Seinfeld said you can tell everything you need to know about a man by three things: the car he drives, the shoes he wears, and the woman he chooses to be his wife.
Facts.
So, this is going to be the mother of your children. This is going to be the person that's going to carry on, that's going to teach your children your legacy and your ideology. And like I said on my show, if you got a chick if you marry a woman and you have kids by her and y'all end up breaking up, however that woman treats you, that's how your kids gonna treat you. Because they get all of their ideology, most of it, they get it from their mother. So if you've got this chick that hasn't really bonded with you because she done slept with so many dudes or whatever, and she hasn't really bonded with her kids, that's gonna be vicious. She's gonna be treating the kids messed up, especially if they look like you. That's gonna cause problems for them. And then she's gonna be treating you messed up. And the kids look at that and they think they supposed to treat you that way, or worse. She thinks that it's a transactional situation. Now your kids think everything is transactional. Every time you spend time with them, they think you're supposed to be Santa Claus. Like it's so many things that can go into that. That's why it's better to really factor that in, because all of the guys I know that got with a high school sweetheart and the chick hadn't really been with a lot of dudes, they still together.
Damn.
They're still together. They got decent relationships,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Fantastic, what about you as far as that amount, that number?
Yeah, man. I'll definitely say over 50%. I don't think we understand. I say it all the time. Humans don't understand humans, especially for women. Their sexual history is a major part and tells you a lot about them, right? I always say her body count is not important as her body account. The type of niggas that she dealing with can be even far more important than the number, right? And I think a lot of men mess up if and when they find out that a woman has a certain type as her archetype and it doesn't match his. You already setting yourself up for failure. So when you look at, like you said, all of the things from a psychological perspective, from a physiological perspective, and all the different things that come in women choosing who she's going to let into her body tells you a lot. So that's a major part. And that's why I say, even though I agree with Darwin, I said the same thing. You'll never actually know the actual number, because I don't think any woman's going to be 100%, or vast majority of women won't be transparent. There are a lot of things and stuff that you can use to determine it for yourself, to to pretty much put her in the category she needs to be in to protect yourself from disappointment down the road.
Damn. And MS Delta, thank you for the $20 Angry Man tax. Appreciate you, sir. What you about to say?
Real quick, doesn't that prove that the entire concept of the sexual liberation is cap?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because if they're proud of being sexually liberated, why are they so ashamed of the body count number?
Yeah, because they're hypocrites and they don't like accountability.
Yeah, basically.
I don't think they're ashamed of it. I think they just knows that disclosing and being truthful about it is going to decrease the amount of leverage they got in negotiating the terms of relationship or who they can get access to. So I think it's just a wise decision. I don't know.
You think they're not ashamed of it? I tell you what, the next time you on a panel with some women, just go down the list. Say, okay, all the ladies, starting with you, what's your body count? And watch how fast you get cursed out.
Yeah.
They are ashamed of that, bro. They ashamed of it.
And Darwin, not only that, they know that it reveals the one thing that they try to pretend when it comes to men. They know that if men will get disgusted or leave because of it, then they know that ultimately they don't actually have the control over men that they think they do. That's why they have to lie.
How I agree.
In order to keep this man here, especially if they know that number is outrageous, I need to lie and to manipulate him to stay versus him being empowered to make a decision, which would mean I no longer can get access or resources from them.
That's why I said being able to negotiate with your leverage. I agree with that, but I don't agree that it's a shame part. I think that women, this is my own opinion. I think women fundamentally love, and if they can beat their chest and be proud of it, they would. They just know that it's a net negative to do that.
Bro, they lie to each other.
In terms of being picked by the person that they desire, and it's a net negative to go and boast that, hey, yeah, you didn't smash all these, you done had all these D's inside you. So I think these women these days, alarming rate of them are growing even more nasty and filthier in the market. and they're proud of how many bodies they don't rack up.
But,
They just don't
but
disclose it.
if that was the case, then a woman calling a woman a 304 wouldn't be an insult.
Boom.
Right? The fact that they still take that word as an insult from a man or a woman means that there's still shame.
Facts. Facts.
Well,
Facts.
I would argue that they're just shamed about the label, but I think they're finessing us in thinking that they're ashamed about it, or even having an inkling in our mind that they should. They actually, I believe they're proud of it. They don't want to have the title to go along with it, but they're proud of their history. They don't give a damn. I think
no, it's not. No, it's not that they're. It's not that they're proud of it. This is what it is. What it is feminism has taught them that they should ignore men's validation. So they're not. It's not that they are proud of it. It's that when it comes to our opinions about it, feminism has taught them that our opinion shouldn't matter. So you got that side of it. You have feminism training them to think a certain way, but you still have that primal thing that's in their mind telling them it's still wrong.
Yeah. Penis. Women want to be men and penis envy.
What's the
what's
the end point of a 304? What in the church? In the
a
church?
religious woman. A religious woman.
The 304, the church floor pipeline.
Yeah,
the 304, the church floor pipeline.
They are ashamed, and they get ashamed, and the shame starts to creep up right when the attention starts to decrease.
Yep.
We know what time it is. When they're in their prime, when they're doing it, having all the fun, they don't regret it. But they absolutely, many of them do regret it and run to religion. And do you see the little stuff with the ladies now talking about some resetting your body count to zero?
Or whatever.
Wait.
With herbs and berries and juices.
They're doing the reverse peyote, Dave. They go into these foreign countries, man, taking all these crazy herbs and about to, you know what I'm saying, throw their guts up, brother, to reset their body count, man.
So wait. No, hold on. Wait. I got a question. So what you're telling me is they're turning an old rusty mountain lion into the thought panther?
Yeah, man.
They're taking a whole shaped herb.
What planet is it? It's crazy. The heart shaped herb, brother.
They're taking a whole shaped herb.
Rejuvenation.
Oh,
a pussy rejuvenation, brother.
Currency. It's their currency, right? So we know that what their currency is their box, is their sexuality. Our currency is actual currency, is money and resources. So when you have an NBA player that's broke after he's then got older, he regrets all of that money he spent. He regrets the money he blew on bullshit. And it's the same thing with them. When they get to that age where they got to retire forcibly, they regret all of that currency they spent. They think I should have spent it more wisely. So, of course, they want to reverse it.
Let me ask y'all a question. If there was no significant impact on a woman being valuable to the men she desired, if she would just honestly be transparent about her account, y'all still think these women would be shamed?
Some would.
Nothing happened.
Yes. There's no impact now.
Yeah.
There's no impact now.
Just answer the question as it is. If
No,
nobody
but
batted
there's
an
no
eye at
promote.
what her account was, and nothing happened, she would still be picked at the same rate as a woman that doesn't have it.
But
do you think she would still be shamed for having that many?
Yeah,
but
yes,
today, in this day and age, especially if we talking about the black community, there is no social impact, and they still ashamed of it.
Yeah,
there's no real. So when it comes to our community, there's no real social. Like guys will get online, and a lot of us will talk about it. But you got to remember, the guys that are online, we're only a small percentage of the population.
Not even 5% of black men. Not even 5%.
Yeah. So most of the black men out here, they don't really care about a chick's body count. This is why it's gotten so bad.
So if there's no impact, if there's no significant impact on a competitive level from woman to woman, one has more, one has less, and there's absolutely no significant impact. And why would she be ashamed if she can still get the same outcome?
Because she knows it's wrong. That's why.
Her body, her biological makeup, Darwin, is what makes it that way.
Listen,
a woman
that she knows it's wrong, her experience.
So that's what we're saying. So we're answering your question. So you ask, I'm answering your question. So even though there's no socially shaming aspect, she has an internal conflict within herself from the mental and biological that tells her as a woman she's not supposed to be operating as a man. So it's going to physically take a toll on her. And Jeff gave you it in the PowerPoint. The way her attachment and her things and so on and so forth, right? And her bonding with the men that she had relationships with and her children, all those things are going to be affected. So it's kind of like a fail safe that's built within women to have women not try and be men is the answer to the question.
Okay, I understand that. I'm just still on the other fence. But there's
things that we do. There's things that we do as men that we know is wrong.
Yeah.
And that's why we'll be ashamed about it, even though we engage in it. And it's the same thing with them. They're engaging in something. And really it goes even deeper. Part of it is, especially with our community, is the fact that you have so many girls growing up without their father, right? So when you got these girls growing up without their father, they don't understand, like when they have their father, they can be loved and it's not transactional, right? When they grow up without their father and they start dealing with men, they think it's transactional. So if I give them sex, I'll get this. And so they're thinking they're going to get a return on their investment. And it isn't until they get a little bit older, they realize there ain't no real return on that investment if you're doing it that way. You feel what I'm saying? If you're not looking for a husband.
I feel what you're saying. I just fundamentally don't believe that the way the women are operating these days, busting it open whenever they want, their body, their choice, that time. I don't believe that they think what they're doing is wrong. I believe that they think that what they're doing is fine. That's just my personal opinion. I get it. Everybody got their own perspective on it. I believe these women, the way these women, they think it's okay to move like that. Whatever conditioning, whatever indoctrination they've been getting, feminists, we call it whatever, these women think that that's cool to do it. But what I will say to this percentage thing, I think you asked a question about concern for the body count. What percentage on a scale from 1 to 100 are you whenever you picking somebody? For me, it's 10%. It's 10%, and 90% of my concern is whether a woman will follow me as the leader. That's my concern. I can deal with anyone. I would rather have a woman that got 5 bodies than a woman who's a virgin who's gonna be combative and don't look at me as a leader and try to look at me as a partner or her equal. I would rather deal with a woman with 5. That's more important to me. And I think from man to man, it varies. That's probably why we got a different percentage on what the level of concern for the woman who had whatever said count.
But based on the science, the likelihood of the woman that's the virgin following you is higher than the one with 5 bodies.
Yes, because you guys remember the alpha widow, right? The alpha widow. How many times do these chicks get with King Dingling, right? Like Jada got with Tupac, right? And she can never get over him. The more dudes she's with, the more likely she's alpha widowed, and she's stuck on that one dude, and you're just her backup plan. And
I agree. I agree that the likelihood is increased from a virgin being able to be cooperative. But I'm saying that what I'm more concerned of is a woman being able to listen and follow me as her leader. That's 90% of my concern whenever I'm dealing with a woman.
Okay.
Her history, whether she's been married, had a couple of relationships or whatever, that's 10% of my concern.
But that's more trauma, more damage, more drama, more things she's been through, more reasons for her to not want to be cooperative, more reasons to not want to like.
Well, no, we don't have to go that route. We can go his route though. Even going your route though, Darwin, agreeing with what you're saying, right? My thing is this. Is that out of desperation or is that out of true compliance and wanting to do it because she knows her value has been depleted? That's her playing a game, brother. If the 304 knows, well, hey, you know, I done been out here and Darwin's a great guy. He's a good dude. So you know what? I've had my fun anyway. And Sierra would take me.
You don't care.
Darwin would take me with all these miles.
Listen,
that's me. Sierra, anybody? Sierra,
I don't want a woman that ain't gonna listen to me. That's just period.
No, I'm saying, but and that's what I'm saying. I'm going along with what you're saying. But a lot of that time, though, women will play the role for a time. again,
I've
I
seen
think
it both ways. I've seen women who don't have account, women coming out into college, in the church girl, in this day, still be combative, still want to look at you as a partner, still want to treat you like she equal to you. That's my concern with these women. My concern is not her experience, whether she got a divorce, whether she's married, whether she got a kid. Can you listen? Can you follow direction and guidance? Do you see me as superior to you? Do you see yourself as subordinate to me? That's what matters to me.
Yeah, before I could even get to seeing her in that way, especially if I find out that information first, that would disqualify her from me even being interested in asking those additional questions about what she could do for me. But I get what you're saying, Darwin. But for me, I do have two different numbers. I would say 80% if it comes to just us being in a monogamous or whatever situation, relationship. But for marriage, 100%. 100%. I think that, and if I find out that it's somebody mutual or friends, then that's why I'm saying it's 100%. It's automatically gone.
Yeah,
it's a wrap. It's not even there is no inkling that I'm going to intentionally marry a woman in that way, let alone with all the risks that comes with marriage. I'm not going to marry somebody who I know other people was knocking off, and we walked in the same room.
Yeah, you don't want to be the best man, bro. You don't want to be Morris Chestnut, man.
Exactly.
You don't want to be Morris Chestnut, brother.
Absolutely.
In 2026, what is on a scale from 1 to 10? How likely is it that a woman that's getting married for the first time at an average rate or an average age, a woman get married in 2026? That she has had more than 3 to 4 partners.
What's the likelihood? Are you on a percentage, or you on likely or more unlikely?
Under 10%.
Yeah.
You said under 10%. Let's
no 110%.
Hold on, what do you say?
10%. I said under 10%. That
Oh, 110%.
Under 4 bodies? Probably under 10.
Yeah, under 4 bodies by 30. That's no chance. None. Zero. Very, 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 very low. 0.000001.
So if we look at this math, and if most men had the mindset of Brother Podcast, in 2026, the likely of a man following a woman where that's 100% of his concern, it's almost impossible for him to find a woman that's worthy of marriage.
That's why so many of them are not getting married.
Yeah.
You know, that's why so many are cheating on the side. That's why so many are dissatisfied in their relationships now. Like, all this is proving what the data says, is that it's going to matter whether or not the man individually cares or not. It still has the capacity to show up in an effective relationship. So at the end of the day, I'm like, listen, man, the data says one thing, people's emotions and feelings says something different. I think everybody wants to believe they're the anomaly. Some people are going to be able to prove it wrong. I don't want to be the test crash dummy that has to find that out as a result of ignoring those potential red flags. But listen, man, it's been a minute. So we already cleared the 2-hour mark. So we're going to wrap things up. I'm going to read off these 3 super chats, and I want each of you gentlemen just to let everybody know where they can find and support you. Tech Nobility, thank you for the $10. Not shooting at my passport bros, but them chicks overseas have body counts rivaling McDonald's numbers. Oh, God.
Damn.
Business geography doesn't wash it away. Yeezy. Okay. Joel, thank you for the 5. They're ashamed because high body counts, like high use of anything, expedites their disposability. Woo. Damn. Man, I'm talking spicy today. Christopher Bakersville, thank you for the 5. To the point about Shane, simply look at what happened to the body positivity movement when Ozempic hit the market. Masterful show, fellas. Absolutely. And it's a lie. And when they're running to Jesus, it's usually because not men are the ones that sent it to him. They just probably, ran out of time, and they think that God can fix it all. Kevin, thank you for the 5. Jesus' mom was the Virgin Mary, not Mary Magdalene. Yeah, body count has always mattered. Oh, God. Jeff St. James's loud voice, $5 to my deepest surprise. I actually agree with Darwin. Most modern women don't believe they are doing anything wrong. That's okay. I mean, if you think that's why they lie and omit it and shame,
bro, they think they're doing the right thing, bro.
They wouldn't be going to the church.
Yeah, they wouldn't be going to the church about it. And talking about, I now realize my body's a temple. Nonsense. Slim,
she been delivered.
Temple of Doom.
304. Jesus. This Temple of Doom is crazy. Slim, thank you for the $2. 304 Eagle never wants to be disqualified because of 304 facts. And then King Jaffe, thank you for the $9.99. If they thought it was fine, they wouldn't be traveling across the world to stuff themselves full of grass to reset their body count and hesitate to tell their body count when asked. Absolutely. And then Cape and Caveman, thank you for the 5. So he rather the pheromones of other men than provide his own as long as she listened. Better invest in soap and scrub brushes.
Yeah, I can't deal with a woman who don't listen. I don't care how pure she is, her body is. I can't deal with a woman who won't listen.
Woo! And then Steve M, thank you for the $2. Get the 304 facts report and credit report for sure. This was a fun episode. So everybody that's tuning in, please make sure that you follow everybody that you see on the screen right now. Please make sure you share it with at least 2, 3, 4, even 5 people. And make sure that y'all, if y'all can, become members of many of our platforms and channels. Angry Man, why don't you start us off? Why don't you thank you for coming through.
Sir.
Let's go. And why don't you let everybody know where they can find and support you?
Yo, y'all can find me on pretty much all of the platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Just look up The Angry Man. I should come up.
You know, Streamer Universe? No, I'm just kidding with you.
Evil.
You didn't have the flag for a minute now. That's crazy. All right, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, you can find me on all social media platforms at The Business Bully. Y'all can check out my new app, Jaro Go, jarogoonline.com. My book, The Real Black Agenda, is available in fine bookstores everywhere and whenever paperbacks are sold. And if you don't like paperbacks and you don't like to read or you can't read, that's okay. I got Audible and I got a graphic novel for you. It's all good. Y'all know where to find it at The Business Bully.
All right, what about you, Mamiya?
Yeah, you can reach me same as Angry Man. All you gotta do is type in my name, and you see me over on Rumble, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc., etc. The Gospel of St. Kevin Samuels still got copies here available. $100 to my Cash App for signed copies, $75 for unsigned copies. The Black Manosphere Conclave coming to Vegas September 11th through the 13th. For tickets and info, www.blackmanosphere.com.
All right, AJ, Mr. Fantastic, and Darwin to close us out.
So it's AJ's rants and reactions on pretty much everything. So Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, check me out. Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mr. Fantastic 824 on all social media platforms, man. Hey, make sure y'all pull up on me this Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be interviewing the great Pastor Manning. Okay, get a job, nigga. Get a job.
You know, we need him at the men's table, bro. You better have a conversation with him.
That's gonna be good.
Pastor Manning at the men's table, bro. Oh, that's gonna be a good interview. That's gonna be good. What about you, Darwin?
Yeah, you can find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Still trying to fight the support for this YouTube channel, but I might be eligible for the pilot program that's supposed to be coming up. I don't know what the hell that is, but yeah, just look out for me. I'm coming. Pause.
Oh, okay.
Hey, yo.
So many questionable things. He saved it to the very end versus it being half the show. But he actually did pretty well this show. Not too bad. Obviously, Ask a Brother podcast. Find me on YouTube and Instagram, TikTok. I mean, we're not really on it, but I will be pretty soon once I make a couple announcements. But everybody, like we said before, we hope that y'all enjoyed this tonight. This conversation. It was fun. It was entertaining. We did put a whole PowerPoint in that lets you know that it matters to a degree. But we'll be
the very fact that we have to have a PowerPoint presentation about this, that tells you that the end is nigh, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost over. Armageddon has arrived.
We really did have a whole PowerPoint with
and I mean, you put the little graphics in there, and you had your sources cited. Like, I mean, you went clinical on it. And then you know what they're gonna say? So,
yeah, so what?
Tell me,
this is I'm going to talk about my truth, Jeff. I'm going to talk about my truth.
What the hell is my truth?
Yeah, that's what they are. That's what these modern women always say. So, and these simps believe them too.
So listen, everybody.
Change her, man.
So listen, man, everybody, make sure again that y'all support all the gentlemen that you see on this platform. Thank y'all for everybody that gave in the super chat to donate to the causes, and we'll see y'all on the other side. Have a good day and good evening. We'll see y'all soon.